Namaste. Many a times we understand from books, our elders tell us, and our experiences tell us that the company of gurus and saints is always enlightening, it is uplifting, and it sort of feels very holy. Why do we feel this when we happen to meet gurus and saints either in the dream states or when we meet somebody in physicality? Why do we experience this? Now, to understand this, we need to understand the chakra system. We all are aware of the seven chakra system that starts at the level of the Muladhara, the root chakra, and it proceeds upwards. But we have many chakras below Muladhara also, which are given in the second picture here. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Patala. So there are seven dimensions which exist beneath the root chakra also. Now the chakras are portals, something like gateways to different dimensions. Now the dimensions which are operating beneath the root chakra, these are very dense negative energy dimensions. These are dimensions where there can be extreme cruelty, there can be a lot of anger. In one dimension, there could be a lot of lust, in one, greed, just too much of hatred. So, these dark worlds or hell realms, they are part of the lower chakras. And this is where a lot of negative ego comes up. Even when somebody is operating from the earthly zone, from the Muladhara chakra, especially when they have not conquered their negative ego, you might come across people with personality disorders who have tremendous of cruelty. They have too much of hatred towards others, lot of negative ego issues, too much of arrogance. Many of these so-called people are connected to the realms which are there beneath the Muladhara chakra. So the cruelty that is there in the one of the lower hell realms, they are able to conduit it upwards through their system because they have a lot of negative ego, and they can bring that piece of hell onto earth wherever they live. People generally who have lot of negative ego, they cause pain, they cause fear, they manipulate, they cheat, lie, control. They traumatize people, they use people as objects. They can take somebody who has everything in the world into a love relationship, and then they can take everything away from them and make them a zero. That is the level of ability that they can devastate a person and a person's life. They are takers. They take everything from the other person. They create chaos, conflict, confusion, and they thrive in that state. It's all about image building, that they are nice. So, because they are nice, others are bad. Highly competitive, unnecessary, unhealthy competition. They pull others down. They abuse, physical, mental abuse, and they use all relationships for their personal benefit. They have no love for anybody. Uh, in their world, in their thought, every person is an object. They reduce every person to an object, and hence they can easily devalue the other person. So, wherever they are, their presence can cause pain. If not pain, when they are in that phase where they want to please a person, gain their trust, then they can create a lot of false promises. They can create a situation where there is a false sense of joy or elation. And when the right time comes, they will use the person for their personal benefit, and then they devalue and discard the person. So once the other person becomes nothing, they don't want to be uh, associated with the other person. So they're very materially focused. Now, what happens here is such people, they cause a lot of pain. Every action is aimed at creating negative consequences for the other party involved. So they create a lot of loss situations for others. The presence of such a person in our life, it feels like hell because their intentions are impure. They don't want to be of any benefit, or their intention is not to do good to others wholeheartedly. Now we have to understand that people on earth, they are a combination of the people that come from the lower hell realms and the beings that come from higher divine realms. This is a place, a playground where the light meets the dark. So a soul can be born from the lower planes onto earth and from the higher planes onto earth. So as the soul evolves, there's a mind expansion happening. The way they look at the world, the way they see themselves, how they interact with people, are they creating stable, good relationships with others? All these things really start mattering when the person is operating from higher chakras. As the mind expands, as the person is evolving, they're connecting with the higher chakras in their system. So such people who are coming from the higher chakras, they can be very creative. They are a mixed bag of good and bad. They are self-aware to some extent. They are intelligent, empathetic, loving, wise. Now the degrees can vary, how loving they are, in what situations they can be kind. There can be variations in these things. On the whole, these people have reached a point in the spiritual evolution where they can develop healthy relationships with others around them. They can create win win situations for themselves and for people around them. Now, as we progress from the lower chakra to the higher chakra, the higher chakras in our body, they have a very purified state of consciousness. Especially, you see, when you look at the higher brain centers, the Sahasrara chakra is linked to the brain centers in the physical body. When these centers get purified, cleansed in the spiritual awakening process, what happens is the divine energy can be brought down, the divine energy which exists in the higher realms, from which humanity can benefit. When that consciousness is brought into the body and released onto earth, humanity can benefit from it. So such divine energies, we are capable of tapping into it when the higher centers in our body open up. So the ones who have healed, the ones who have reach that point in evolution, they're operating predominantly from the higher chakras. Such people, their intentions are very pure. If your intentions are not very pure, you cannot rise in consciousness. Not every guru, not every person has reached that point. But as we are evolving, as our emotions are getting purified, mind is getting purified, we are able to align with the higher divine principles that are there in the universe. We heal. Our intentions towards everybody becomes very purified. The more the purified we become inside, the more pure our intentions are towards others. There can be people who come into your life and trouble you, harass you, even at a higher point, but here you do not wish bad for them. You understand that they are operating from a different level of consciousness, but then you will not wish bad for them. When you are able to stand in that ground where you do not intend uh, negative consequences for others, rather you use your intelligence to raise yourself and raise others around you, in a way, you are able to tap into higher conscious states. Now, the saints who have already reached that point, or the gurus, the real gurus who have reached that point, they're operating from the above divine realms and they're bringing that light onto earth. They are the conduits of higher energy into earth, and the inhabitants of earth can benefit from this energy. These saints or gurus have healed themselves, and their intentions are so purified that wherever they are present, they only wish good for others. Even the evil ones, they understand that people have animalistic tendencies, there are evil traits in people. This understanding does not increase grudge inside of them. Instead, they understand where the soul is in their spiritual evolutionary process, and no matter where the soul is, they always wish good for the soul. So, their entire actions, they are aimed at uplifting the consciousness of people, and hence their presence creates pockets of heaven wherever we have their presence. When we are in the presence of a real good guru or a saint, suddenly we feel healed. It feels like we have reached that the doorway through which if I walk, I will go on to the other side. Or I found hope. I know there's somebody who can show me the way, the path to heal myself. The actions of the saints or the gurus, they stem from these very purified intentions and thoughts, and hence they don't pull others down. It is very rare to find such beings whom we can wholeheartedly trust and follow their path to become like them. Now, this means that we have to overcome a lot of animalistic tendencies which are inherently present within us, dissolving our personality which got formed over many lifetimes based on our experiences, and then completely healing ourselves and our ancestry also. So the presence and guidance of these saints, it allows us to reach the same high vibrational states which they could achieve. Many of these great beings, though they are not physically present, they are still there at the higher astral plane, and they still guide humanity even today by giving Shaktipath transmission, by coming in their dreams, helping them in their spiritual path. And hence, the connection with a guru or saint, it allows you to truly ascend, because these beings are giving you a glimpse of that higher dimension, higher energy, higher connection, which is otherwise not available to us. We are not even aware of this presence until the guru shows it to you, or until the saint allows you to have a glimpse of it. So, whenever possible, wherever possible, please try to spend as much as time in that place where the saint has spent their lifetime, reading their books, reading their scriptures, uh, trying to connect with them in meditation, and following their paths. See what their path is, because everybody's path has a little variation. Their methodologies can be a little different. And when we follow those paths, the many different paths or just one path, you will achieve the state which the guru or the saint has reached. But here on the path, even your intentions should become very purified, very divine to reach the very high states. Namaste.